Hi friends, good morning or good afternoon, whether you're at home or at school. This is how we're going to do circle time today. And, well, actually, I have a few things to show you before we begin. So, this morning, I went for a walk, and I found some things. So this is my walk box. When I find some things on my walk that make me think of you, I will put them in this box for us to open up and see what we can find. So when you open the box, the first thing you see, let me see if I can turn it sideways a little bit here. Can you get that angle maybe a little bit without them falling out? There's 3 different compartments, and in each one, it was a different part of my walk. The first thing I found, it's technically a stick, but there's these weird things all over it. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Let's see how close we can get. Nope, it's not really. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hold on. Let me get the light on it. There. It's called lichen. It's really weird. It's kind of crunchy a little bit. If you touch it, I don't know if you can hear that. It's going crunch, 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 crunch. There's more over here. Ooh, and it's all over the stick. It's growing on it. It's a type of plant. That's pretty cool. Let's turn the light back. Oops. Alright, let's put the stick back in there. Ooh, next thing I found were some leaves. And now these leaves reminded me of what we were talking about in class the other day. The first one, it's super spiky. It has all these little spikes on it. And it's kind of sad looking right now, but that's because it's dried up. It's not attached to the tree anymore. If we think about what color this is, let's see. It's brown. It's brown, just like the other leaf. This leaf is brown too, but this one is shiny. Ooh, it's kind of like metallic. That one's really cool. I picked up this one because it's really big, and I know you guys love big leaves, but also because of how shiny it was. I didn't see any other shiny leaves. This was the only one. Now, we've looked at the leaves, we've looked at the stick. I have a few other things to show you. This thing, now, this might not look like it came from outside, but it actually is from a tree. It's a seed. A seed. It's a little dried out though, so I don't know if it would actually grow if you put it in the ground right now. And the last thing I found, I can't actually touch it because it's kind of spiny. But this was a pretty flower that reminded me of all my friends. All my friends. And I'm holding it with a leaf so the spines don't poke me. I don't know if you can see those spines. Maybe. 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 No. That's okay. That's alright. You don't have to see it. Now, I found all these pretty things, and every single time I walked past something else, I wanted to pick it up, but I had my hands full. So this is all that we'll have for today, but I will empty out my box for my walk tomorrow so that I can put new things in my walk box, just for you. Let's turn this around. Actually, I think this went the other way. Maybe. There we go. Alright, let's close up the walk box. Say bye, walk box. Now, for the next thing, one that I was really excited to show you, is the book we're going to read today. This is called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This was one of my favorite books growing up. Now, I know it's not Christmas time, but shh, we can still read a Christmas book anyways. When you first open it up, ooh, it's a repeated pattern. They have a wreath and a bow on it. Oh, and the cute little guy standing there. How cute. How cute. All right, let's start the book. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Oh, another title page, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, written by Dr. Seuss. For Teddy Owens. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. That must be a Who. But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. Oh, he's grumpy. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. Not No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. Ouch. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Poor Mr. Grinch. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Who's, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming. Ooh, he looks really mad about the Who's down there having a good time at Christmas. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. But look how fun they're having. Look how fun they're all having. Oh, he doesn't like noise very much. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. Wow, do you see how long that table is? It goes all those people, all those Who's sitting at the table. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? And then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. Uh-oh. Doesn't sound very good. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Did you see that? He's turning his dog into a reindeer. How silly. Max isn't a reindeer, he's a dog. Oh, poor puppy. Oh my goodness. Whoa, he looks just like Santa Claus now. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Get out," and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. You see him up there? There he is. Where's Max? You guys see where Max is? Oh, he's all down here. He's still on the ground. Whoa, it's so pretty inside. They decorated for Christmas. They have a tree and their stockings. Ooh, and all the presents. Do you see the presents? Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. Sorry, guys. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. He's taking them. Oh no. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. That's so sad. They're sleeping and he's taking all their things. Then he slunk to the icebox. That's another word for refrigerator. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. Oh, the tree is so sad now. He took all the ornaments and all the presents away. The room is so empty. There's no more decorations. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. He's taking the tree too? Oh no, he's taking even the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than two. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Aww. But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie. And he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. Do you think he's gonna bring it back? No, probably not. He's taking all their things. He doesn't like Christmas. And his fib fooled the child, then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. You see that? He left one little crumb, but it's too small for even the mouse to eat. Poor mousey. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. He took all the other Who's things too. It's so empty. All the decorations are gone and all the presents for all the other houses. Whoa. Do you see that? That's his sled that Max is still pulling, but look how big it is now. It's because he took all the Christmas stuff. Oh, there he is on top. There he is on top. There he is. It was 15:15 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. "3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh, pooh, to the Who's. He was Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. You see that? He's about to dump it off the edge. Aww. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. I wonder what he heard. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came, somehow or other. It came just the same. Oh, do you guys see all of them singing? That's so cute. They're all happy with each other. Even though they don't have presents, they're still happy. And the Grinch with his Grinch feet, ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And then he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. Aww. He's thinking really hard. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say, the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. You see that? He's doing it himself. He's taking part in Christmas now. That was the last page. The end. All right, friends. That was one of my favorite books growing up, called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I hope you guys really enjoyed circle time today. And tomorrow we're going to get back into doing some ASL signs and possibly even some Spanish. I can't wait to go over it with you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye, friends.